welcome back to our Summer Explorers Camp. This week we're studying the country of Panama, and this video is a part of our Around the Rainforest segment. So in this video we'll be talking about some different rainforest animals, different facts about them, and then at the end I will show you guys how to play a game. So something that's important before we start, for the purposes of the game you may want to take notes about the facts of these animals, and I'll show you why in just a little bit. So this first animal that we're going to talk about is a jaguar. It's the third largest cat in the world after the lion and the tiger. It's known as a predator, so it eats other animals. They can be either black or they can be yellow with black patches. The patches are important because they work as a form of camouflage for the jaguar, helping them to hide from other animals. They're mostly nocturnal, which means they're most active at night. They are excellent tree climbers, and they can also swim to catch their prey. So this second animal that we'll talk about is called a coati. They are omnivores, so they eat both fruit and invertebrates. They are a relative of the raccoon. They have a really long snout and also a long bushy ringed tail. They feed by using their long noses. They poke them under rocks and into crevices, and they use their tail for balance when they're climbing. So they're also nocturnal, so they're active both day and night. So this is a boa constrictor. They have big, powerful bodies, and they have green and brown coloration, which works as camouflage. So very similar to the jaguars, it just helps them stay hidden from things that are either trying to hurt them or that they're trying to eat, because they are also predators. So they are not venomous, so if they bite you, won't kill you, won't hurt you, might sting a little. They kill their prey by constricting it, which means that they squeeze it until it can no longer breathe. Before they swallow it whole. They are mostly nocturnal, mostly active at night, and they can be up to 10 feet long. Once they swallow a particularly large animal, it can take up to 4 to 6 days for them to completely digest it. So once they eat one of those larger animals, they won't have to eat for a while. This animal is called the pygmy three-toed sloth. They are the smallest of the three-toed sloths. Their tongues extend out of their mouths up to 10 to 12 inches. They are known for moving incredibly slow. They can stay up in trees for as long as 7 days, and they only come down to use the bathroom. They are great swimmers, actually. They can hold their breath underwater for up to 40 minutes. Contrary to popular belief, a lot of people think that sloths sleep all the time. They actually only sleep about 10 hours per day. And another cool thing is that they can turn their head almost 360 degrees. So that means that they can turn their head on their neck all the way around back to the front. And sloths are also pretty cool because they can live to be up to 40 years old. So this animal is a giant anteater. They're the largest of its species. They're also known as the ant bear. They have really tiny eyes and a long, narrow tongue and snout, which they use for eating. Their sense of smell is about 40 times more powerful than a human, so they can smell really well, and their main diet is ants and termites. This animal is the keel-billed toucan. They are mostly black with a large multicolored bill. Although the bill looks heavy, it's actually very light because it's hollow, so it's empty inside basically, it's just a shell. In some native regions, toucans are sometimes associated with evil spirits. They are thought to be the incarnation of a demon. So even though toucans are birds, they don't fly well. They typically move from tree to tree by hopping from different branches to other branches. They have a loud frog-like call that can be heard up to half a mile away. So they're also very loud birds. This is a mantled howler monkey. They are mostly black except for a fringe of golden hairs on their sides. The mantled part in their name actually comes from these long guard hairs. So even though they're called a howler monkey, they don't just howl. They have a variety of vocalizations. So they also bark, grunt, and wolf, kind of like a dog. They usually only howl at dawn or dusk or in response to something that's going on. So if they're disturbed by anything, that's when they'll start howling. They can often be seen hanging from the tree branches with their arms. Their tail often works as a fifth limb, so they'll use it to hang on to branches as well, or to grab things. They are mostly herbivores. They eat leaves, fruits, and flowers, and they are also very good swimmers. This is a red-eyed tree frog. They are non-poisonous, so they won't hurt you, won't kill you. Their toes have little sticky pads that help them stick onto leaves and branches. They typically eat insects. Their green body works as camouflage, mostly to hide from predators. They can blend into the leaves that are around them. So because they're non-poisonous, camouflage is their only form of defense against predators. They typically use vibration to communicate, and they can live up to about 5 years in the wild. So this is where we get to the fun part of this video. I'm going to teach you guys quickly how to play a game called Who Am I? So the basics of this game, what you want to do, this is typically played well with 2 or more players, but what you want to do is write the name of each animal that we went over on a post-it note or a piece of paper. And you'll have one person that is in charge of taping the names of these animals to other people's backs. But you don't want them to see, you don't want the people to see what animal is taped to their back. So each person will get to go around and ask other people yes or no questions to figure out what animal they are. So that's where the notes that you are taking will come in handy, because you'll use those to ask your questions. So for example, you can ask, am I a predator? Or do I sleep a lot? And the other person will answer either yes or no, depending on what animal is on your back. So once they figure out, or what they think they figured out what their animal is, they can take a guess, and then the first player to guess correctly wins the game. So you can use this slide as a reminder for the different animals that are up there, but you guys can go ahead and play your game, or you can just look through the animals again, but do your own research, and we'll see you in the next video.